Hi everyone and welcome back. In today's video I'm going to show you how I make my version of the classic Italian dessert tiramisu. A lot of people think it's complicated, but honestly it's not. Anyone can make this and you can vary the recipe to your taste. My version is eggless and doesn't have a large amount of sugar, but it is boozy, creamy and full of flavour. Let's get started. I start off by making some espresso coffee with my stovetop percolator. You can use instant coffee, but espresso is best. The ground coffee I am using today is the Bialetti Napoli. This produces a strong full-bodied coffee which is perfect for this recipe. When the coffee is ready, pour it into a heat-proof bowl. My percolator made 750 ml of coffee, but you only need a maximum of 500 ml. I will of course put all the ingredients and amounts for this recipe in the video description. We can now make the coffee mixture. I'd like to point out, if you don't want to add any alcohol at all, then don't. Feel free to omit it or use flavourings. We've got 2 tablespoons of sugar. I'm using raw sugar because I love the sweetness and flavour, but you can use any sugar that you like. Onto the alcohol. Half a cup of Marsala wine, which is similar to a fortified port wine, sherry or Madeira. Finally, a 1/4 cup of Kahlua. Tia Maria works well also. With the coffee mixture still hot, I add the sugar first to help it dissolve faster. I then add the Marsala wine and then the Kahlua, and then I give it a good stir until the sugar is dissolved. The sugar is dissolved and everything is combined. Now I'm going to give it a taste to see if we need to add any more sugar or alcohol. That was bang on the money. Let's put this to one side and move on to our cream mixture. Moving on to the mascarpone cream cheese mixture. This is everything you'll need. We have a tub of light smooth ricotta cheese, which is 375 grams. Then we have 2 tubs of mascarpone cheese. These tubs are 250 grams each, or 1 cup. To add a little sweetness, we have 3 tablespoons of icing sugar. We have 2 tablespoons of Bailey's Irish cream and a teaspoon of vanilla extract. If needed, we have 2 tablespoons of milk to thin out the mixture. Let's start by putting the cheese into the bowl first. I like to mix the icing or powdered sugar first, so we're just going to put this into a bowl and give it a good mix. This makes combining the other ingredients much easier. Another reason I like to mix the sugar in first is because it has a tendency to fly everywhere. In this instance, there was no cloud of sugar. I had a taste of the mixture for sweetness and decided it needed another heaped teaspoon of icing sugar just to cut through the cream cheese taste. Look at how beautiful, silky smooth that mixture looks. Let's add the vanilla extract to the bowl. If you can't get extract, then essence will work just as fine. Our last ingredient goes in, the beautiful boozy Baileys. We're going to give this a further mix until everything is well combined. We won't be using this milk because the mixture's consistency is perfect. We've now mixed this well we're going to go over to the table and start assembling our tiramisu. We have the three main components of the dish: the coffee, the cream cheese and ladyfinger biscuits. You can assemble this in a glass or baking dish, chill it in the fridge overnight and serve as is, but I'm going to do something a little different. I'm using a loaf pan lined with greaseproof paper because I'm going to freeze this tiramisu to serve as a semifreddo with the consistency of ice cream. The assembly couldn't be any easier. We're going to put a layer of the cream cheese first. This is actually going to be the top of the tiramisu because we will serve this flipped over. Next, we are going to take our ladyfinger biscuits and dip them in the coffee and layer them on the cream. I dunk them in for no more than a second, turning them over and letting the excess drain off before placing them in the tin. Here's a quick tip. If you need to cut biscuits to size, make a small cut using a serrated knife. They will snap off easily and make less mess. So that's one layer of each done. Now we're going to repeat the process and we're going to finally top it off with the mixture and smooth it out. That is the hard part done. I'm now going to be using an offset spatula to smooth out the top, which will end up being the base of the tiramisu. We are now going to cover this with Glad wrap, or cling film as it's known, and put this in the freezer and let it chill overnight. So it's the next night. I have taken this out of the freezer, flipped it over onto a glass chopping board, removed the tin and allowed it to stand for 30 minutes before serving. Look at those layers, the biscuits, the cream cheese. I'm really pleased with how this came out. Now we're just going to dust it with a bit of cocoa powder to serve. Our tiramisu is now done, looking gorgeous. I'm going to give it a slice while it's still a bit frozen and give it a try because I just can't resist. To serve semifreddo, I would wait until the cream cheese mixture is almost like soft serve consistency. As a little bonus, I had a small amount of the ingredients left over, so I'm going to make a single serve tiramisu using this cute little springform pan which I purchased from Kmart. It is perfect for small desserts, and the detachable base will come in handy when we're ready to serve. The process for this will be the same as our main tiramisu we just did. We're going to put a layer of the cream cheese mixture, followed by the coffee dip biscuits, some more cheese mixture, another layer of biscuits, and the final layer of cream cheese and cocoa dusting. I decided to serve this like a standard tiramisu. I didn't put it in the freezer. I put this in the fridge overnight to let it set. I'm going to remove the greaseproof paper and the sides of the springform pan. I decided to dedicate this to a friend, so I used a stencil made from paper and used white icing sugar for it to stand out. Well, that's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed this recipe as much as I enjoyed eating it. Don't forget to comment, give the video a like and subscribe. Stay safe and see you same chilli time, same chilli channel.